The next practice awards are near and dear to my heart. I have been with i4cp about a dozen years, and about half of them we have been doing this next practice award. And really, it's been designed to surface the great work across the network. We have, over the last several years, received over 200 submissions from topics on leadership development to diversity to metrics that are assessing impact inside the organization and how they're communicating that. So many rich things that are happening. And ultimately, our team goes through a rigorous evaluation of the submissions to really look at four key things. Number one, what's the business impact? Obviously, we're a high-performing organization from a research standpoint, and we really want to make sure that we see the business impact connection. We want to look at the scale of the impact, and what is the potential of that in the future, as well as looking at the innovation and next practices used in each one of those. And so as we think about that, overall, we have a core set of criteria that really guides our evaluation. This year, we had over 40 members respond and submit practices that they have been working on. Love the fact that several members submitted multiple things, and I encourage you to continue to look for your great work and plan for submissions for next year. Of those, we had 8 finalists, and I think we have a list of the finalists, and I'll have to admit, we did a wonderful time interviewing each one of these, because they're all deserve recognition for the power that they have provided. And I'll tell you that each one of these that's posted on our site has rich insights, not only of the practice, but guideposts for how to think about implementation. And that's part of, I think, the opportunity here is to hear how an organization like a Land O'Lakes or an F5 or a Ford have all thought about their specific business challenges, how they've addressed them, and then given some practical insights to how they have made impact. And again, that storytelling is one of the powers of the i4cp network. So without further ado, I need to get to the reason why I'm here is to introduce the 4 winners of the next practice awards. The first one is Ford Europe, and I want to underline the Europe aspect of this. They have been working on a skills transition strategy that really began in 2018, and I encourage you to check out this write-up, as well as we will be identifying several ways to tell their story and the other winners over the next several months leading up to the March conference in Scottsdale, Arizona. But the key thing here is that they've been looking at their skills strategy, and as you can imagine, powertrain converting to battery operation, electronic vehicles is a huge aspect of their future state. They've really defined gaps in how they need to transition their skills and thought about how they can do that swiftly and targeted, as well as did some creative things in the UK starting out to fund this that most organizations, I think, would benefit from seeing not only the design work and how they included an ecosystem of the trade unions, work councils, et cetera, but really how they drove that forward to pull successful pilots, how they're transitioning to more of Europe, Germany with a specific focus, and how they're also sharing that with their global counterparts to ensure that that skill strategy continues to grow. Second organization that I want to highlight is Tiffany & Co. So one of the awesome things that they shared was how they're trying to build inclusive learning for leaders at scale. And I added the at scale piece of this because in reality, that is their goal, was not to just have a select group of leaders impacted, but really do this in a significant work across the enterprise. And what was fantastic about this is they leveraged not only some core learning opportunities, but they built in some secret sauce, which I think is 1, culture champions, 2, they had some very practical management guidance and tools that reinforce those behaviors. And specifically, I'll ask you to check out the 4-3-2-1 model. Really fantastic in terms of how they've created some very simple, repeatable, learnable ideas that their organization can put into place. And then the last piece of it that I think is secret sauce, and again, I'm trying to be intriguing around this, is they integrated with their DE&I approach, their performance management, as well as their employee value proposition. And so it wasn't just inclusive learning for leaders, but it had interconnectedness across a variety of things that are huge in terms of the impact of the organization. Third winner is Avanade. And ultimately, I'd love to share a couple of headlines there. Avanade was focused on harnessing the power of people and innovation to fuel their future growth. And one of the things that they had made a huge decision around was obviously the pandemic impacted most of our businesses in core ways. They had to move their innovation global conference to a virtual setting. And instead of bringing in the top 200 or so leaders across the organization to do an innovation lab, they decided to go virtual and create something that was inclusive for all, and really created a speed at which the event, that basically they made a decision in March to make that happen, and within weeks we're deploying something that basically over a 4-week period was deployed week over week over week. And you may think that they had a ton of resources to this, but it was really a core team of 4 that had a technologist, somebody from innovation, somebody from HR, and a content strategist that really were some of the secret sauce that made this happen. And what I'll tell you is that I think the agile design, the gamification that was built into it were crucial aspects of driving, and as they have heard people's feedback from it, they continue to say, we're looking forward to building upon this and looking forward to what the themes are for next year. I will add one last thing. The alignment to the business was crucial in terms of making this more than just innovation and learning, but really innovation to impact the business was that overall flow. Last organization that's a winner for us this year is T-Mobile in their program called Lead Magenta Next. Their goal overall was to ensure that they were increasing underrepresented employees in leadership. And I'll highlight a couple of things here that I think are significant and worth your viewing to dig in further. Number one, they used ERGs in a powerful way, which is a next practice of ours, to source talent, and did some unique things there to really pull in that more than most organizations, an undertapped representation of their talent. Second piece that was crucial to this was a personal advisory board that was built for each of the people that was selected to go through this program. And ultimately, they did some unique things to really build the skill sets of that personal advisory board. And my challenge back to you is to really think about and reflect the difference between sponsorship versus mentorship. T-Mobile said sponsorship needs to happen more often in the way that we are delivering our impact to our leaders, and they see the momentum change in terms of these underrepresented talent as opportunities for the future growth of their talent throughout the system. So again, congratulations to the 4 winners. We're excited about telling their stories and continue to unpack that over the next several months, again, leading up to the March conference, where we will have them share even more of their stories.